Today, we're diving into a story that it pushes the absolute limits of what a human being can endure. We're going deep inside a flooded cave to figure out how one woman, Maya, managed to survive something that was, well, completely impossible. It all starts with this number, 37. Just think about that. 37 days trapped in total, absolute darkness. No food, no clean water, and absolutely no way to tell the outside world you're even there. Now, picture this. A group of 9 friends, they're heading into a cave together, just looking for the adventure of a lifetime. They're young, they're excited, and they have no idea what's waiting for them inside. And then there's this number, 1. This is where the story gets absolutely chilling, because out of those 9 friends who walked into that cave, only 1 ever walked out. So that's the big question, right? The one we're going to try and unpack here. How on earth did a 22-year-old woman defy death against every single odd, completely alone, in the dark for 37 days? All right, to really get this, we've got to rewind to the very beginning. The day is October 13th, 2007. We're in Thailand's famous Khao Sok National Park. The weather's perfect, and this group of friends is just ready for an adventure. So you've got this group, 9 friends, just buzzing with energy. They're led by 27-year-old Will, and among them is 22-year-old Maya. They were just there to have an amazing time, totally unaware that in just a few hours, their lives would be changed forever. As they're exploring, their whole day is about to take a really, really bad turn. They stumble upon the entrance to a cave, it's called Thumb Wong, and right there at the entrance, there's a sign they just couldn't miss. I mean, the warning couldn't have been more clear. Entry prohibited. And it wasn't just the sign. Local guides had apparently told them that 2 tourists had died in that exact same cave a couple years earlier during the rainy season. But the thrill of adventure, it was just too strong. They ignored it. And this timeline, wow, it just lays out how fast a perfect day can turn into an absolute nightmare. By just after noon, they're inside the cave with their snacks, water, and flashlights. But by 2 p.m., the adventure was over. A desperate fight for survival had just begun. Once they're inside, they make another huge mistake. They split up. Will takes 5 of them one way, while another friend, Sorn, leads a smaller group, including Maya, down a different, narrower passage. And just as they separated, a flash flood started raging outside. And then, all of a sudden, this earth-shaking roar just shatters the quiet. It was the sound of millions of gallons of storm water, funneling right into the mouth of the cave and rocketing straight towards them. You have to understand how fast this happened. It was terrifying. In mere seconds, the clear, knee-deep water they were walking through just exploded into this violent, neck-deep torrent of mud and debris. There was absolutely no time to react. Maya gets tossed around like a rag doll in this current, her head smashing against the rocks. Running on pure adrenaline, she somehow fights the water and pulls herself up onto a high ledge, clinging on for dear life in the pitch-black darkness, totally and completely alone. So now her entire reality is this terrifying little pocket of air. The passage had become what's called a sump, basically a point where it's almost completely flooded. She had a tiny 6-inch gap between the water and the ceiling. She had to literally press her face against the cold rock just to breathe. For 2 straight agonizing days, she's just stuck on that ledge as the water slowly starts to recede. But as the levels drop, she reaches out into the darkness, and her hand touches something cold and hard. It's hair, human hair. In the pitch black, she realizes she's found the body of her friend, Jessica, her foot wedged between 2 rocks. So now, she wasn't just trapped in the darkness, she was trapped with the dead. So think about this. No light, 0 hope of rescue, and the body of her friend right there with her. This is where Maya began an unimaginable battle against thirst, starvation, and her own mind. You could almost break down what she went through into 4 brutal stages. First, it was the desperate fight against dehydration. Then came the all-consuming hunger. After that, her mind began to fracture, leading to terrifying hallucinations. And finally, a sense of acceptance. And the reality of what it took to survive, it's just brutal. To fight off thirst, she drank the filthy floodwater by wringing it from her shirt. For hunger, her body literally started eating itself, consuming its own muscle and fat. She ate raw cave spiders, crickets, whatever she could find. She even tried eating a fungus that was growing on bat waste, which just made her violently sick. And her mind, starved of any input in the total darkness, started to break. She'd hallucinate the smell of pizza. She'd see rescue teams that weren't there, and she'd see her dead friends just sitting beside her. By day 25, her body it had nothing left. It was shutting down. Her skin was literally rotting away from the dampness, a horrifying condition called trench foot. Weighing only about 30 kilos, she was too weak to even catch insects anymore. She just lay down on a rock, accepted her fate, and waited to die. But fate wasn't done with her yet. On the 37th day, the rainy season was finally over, and the park was getting ready to reopen. A team of park rangers was sent into the cave to do a routine safety check. A diver's light sweeps across what he thinks is just a pile of bones, and then he sees it move. It's breathing. They had found her. I mean, this comparison just shows the devastating toll this took. It is an absolute miracle she was even alive. It's only in the hospital that Maya learns the devastating truth. She's the only one who made it out. The bodies of all 8 of her friends were eventually recovered. Today, people call her the Miracle Girl, and she shares her incredible story of survival, which is really summed up by this powerful belief she now lives by. Maya's story, it's a chilling reminder of the raw power of nature, but it's also this incredible, mind-blowing testament to the sheer force of the will to live. It really makes you ask yourself, when you're faced with the truly impossible, what deep, unknown reserves of strength are lying dormant inside all of us?